Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to my channel Psychology Facts by Lara. So the topic of today's video is models of health psychology, and here I am going to explain famous models of health psychology with examples. So before moving on to the topic, please subscribe my channel so that you can get latest updates. So first of all, we will discuss what is health psychology. It is the study of psychological and behavioral process in health, illness, and healthcare, and it is concerned with understanding how psychological, behavioral, and cultural factors contribute to physical health and illness. Models of health psychology. First of all, we will discuss the role of health habits, how the health habits influence a person's lifestyle, person health, and if a person does not follow healthy habits, it can lead to chronic and fatal diseases as well. And when people realize the effect of health habits and when they know that they have to manage the maladaptive behavior, they can protect their health as well. Many researchers are struggling to find out the causes of adaptive behavior and maladaptive behavior. Adaptive behaviors are those behaviors in which a person follow proper routine, healthy diet, healthy habits, and they even form particular beliefs about health. And maladaptive behaviors are those behavior in which person does not maintain their lifestyle, does not follow healthy habits, and they form their beliefs about healthy habits as well. So researchers have developed some health models to understand the health behavior, well behavior, illness, prevention, and people's perception about disease. So let's discuss the list of health models that researchers has given. So here is the list of famous model of health psychology, and the number one is biomedical model, biopsychosocial model, the health belief model, the trans-theoretical model, theory of planned behavior, the illness belief model. Now we will discuss these models or theories one by one to get clear understanding. Number one is biomedical model. According to this model, illness can be explained in terms of biochemical imbalance and neurophysiological abnormalities. And disturbance in physiological processes can result from injury, biochemical imbalances, bacteria, viral infection that can also lead to illness and physical disorder. This model also assumes that disease is separate from psychological and social processes of mind. So this model generally focuses on physiological processes and the imbalance in biochemical reactions, and the viewpoint became widely accepted during 19th and 20th century, and it is still dominant view in medicine. So doctors and hospitals are the real focus in this model, such as doctors are going to fix the illness and patient is going to play a passive role. Here the main concern is doctors and hospitals, and diagnosis and intervention are the important aspect of this model. Diagnoses include identification of disease, illness through observation and through the diagnostic test. Here, doctor is going to observe the symptoms of the patient and will use some diagnostic test as well, such as X-rays, scans, or blood tests. And the second important aspect is intervention. Intervention is basically an action to improve the person's health or patient's health. That also include medical treatment, that can be hospitalization, prescription, or surgery, etc. So every model has some limitations as well. So biomedical model is a single factor model. It is basically focusing on one factor, and it explains the illness in biological malfunctions rather than considering all the factors that can be responsible for the development of disease. And it is also known as reductionist model because it is focusing more on low level processes such as disordered cells, chemical imbalances rather than recognizing the role of social and psychological processes. So reductionist means focusing more on low-level processes that is generally related to cells and disorder cells. And this model implicitly assumes that mind-body dualism means that mind and body are separate entities and focus more on illness rather than on health and healthy condition. So overall, we are going to discuss everything related to illness. This model doesn't talk about the healthy conditions and how a person feels healthy and more concerned towards the disorders, diseases and illnesses. Number two is biopsychosocial model. And this model is totally based on the belief that mind and body together determine health and illness, and that is literally opposite to biomedical model. And this model assumes that all three factors such as biological, psychological and social factors affects the person's health in a positive way or in a negative way, and biological factors such as genetic material and processes which we inherit from parents, and psychological factors that include cognition, emotion, person's motivation, and social factors, relationship, attraction, overall society effects on individual lifestyle, personality, health, and illness. These three factors affect the overall personality and overall healthy conditions of a person. And here in this picture, three factors are discussed: biological, social, and psychological. And we can see that in biological factor, physical health, disability, and genetic vulnerability is mentioned, as these all factors can affect a person's health. And if a person is having a history of drugs from their parents, it can also affect his mental or physical health. And temperament and IQ are also from the genes and from the parents. So all these factors affect the person's health. And psychological factors include a person's own self-esteem, how much he is motivated, how much he knows about his own self, and how much he values his or her own self, and what are the coping skills he is utilizing for maintaining the health, and what social skills he has acquired. So all these psychological factors also affects the person's health. How much he is motivated to change, how much he is motivated to change his bad behaviors to healthy behaviors. And social factors include family circumstances, school, peer, family relationship. So if a person's own society and surrounding is too much motivated and motivates a person to change, he can change his lifestyle in a better way and can make her life more healthy. And on contrary, these factors also have negative impact on a person's life if they are not supportive. So we can say that biopsychosocial model generally focuses on these factors and how these factors relate to person's health in a better way or in a worse way. So this model stresses that during diagnosis of a particular disorder that can be chronic or acute, a practitioner must consider the role of these factors, biological, psychological, and social factors, that how these factors are playing the role in the healthy condition or unhealthy condition of a person. So, in biology, practitioner is going to assess the nutrition, the lifestyle, the genes of a person, and social interactions, how much a family is supportive to that person, and how strong the relationship, what is the relationship style, is the family supportive or not, and person's own beliefs and attitude towards the chronic disease, how he's going to spend his further life, what are the emotions related to his own health, and what are the coping skills he is going to utilize, and if there is any past trauma. So all these factors must be assessed during giving a particular diagnosis of a disease. Number three is health belief model. Why people do and do not practice health behavior. So this model is going to assess the particular belief of a person related to health. And this is the This is the main question of health belief model or theory, and this model was proposed by Becker and Rosenstock in 1984. According to this model, person likelihood of preventive actions depends on two main assumptions. Individual feel threat regarding his health problem, or individual weigh pros and cons of taking action. First of all, if a person realizes that there is a problem related to health, and then he weigh the pros and cons whether I have to take action related to my health condition or not, or overall assess the advantages and disadvantages of taking the action. So different factors influence the individual perceived threat, and the number one is perceived suspectability. Usually people evaluate about the health problem, and if they found it risky, they become more threatful. They first of all assess how much the threatful condition he is going to face if they are not going to consider the health problems. And the number two is perceived severity of health threat. People analyze the threat and its consequences and evaluate how much their families and important others will suffer. They overall analyze the severity, and they overall see how much surroundings are going to affect if I am not going to make any change, and I am not going to consider the threats and consequences of my health conditions. And the number three is perceived benefits and barriers of treatment. Here people assess the pros and cons and cost in taking an action. As we all know that economy, person's social status are very important in maintaining the healthy conditions. So these three factors affect person's belief, and they particularly form a person's belief to change the unhealthy behavior or to stand up for maintaining your own healthy lifestyle. Health belief model. It includes three components that are modifying factors, individual beliefs, and actions. Modifying factors include age, gender, geographic location. Geographic location is very important. It basically impacts the overall society impact, and basically highlight how much a person is going to take care of his health, what are the health concerns. So overall your location, your society have a huge impact on your healthy behavior or unhealthy behavior. Education, how much educated a person is, the more person is educated, the more he is concerned about his healthy environment, healthy condition, his own health, healthy behaviors. Ethnicity, health knowledge, how much knowledge a person have related to health, health concerns, how much he know about the healthy tips. Immigration status, income of a person is very important because it decides how much a person can manage economically, race and wealth. So all these modifying factors leads to the formation of individual belief, and that we have discussed earlier, perceived susceptibility to disease. Here a person suspects the risk of a particular behavior that can be maladaptive. So he tries to um, consider these risky behaviors or maladaptive behaviors. Then he understands perceived severity of disease, how much severe that disease is, or how much maladaptive behaviors are going or leading towards the severity of particular disease. If a person is going to consider the severity, he will try to change that behavior as well. So the next is perceived benefits of preventive action. If a person have gained knowledge about maintaining the health, maintaining the healthy behavior, he is going to take some preventive actions, and he must analyze the outcomes of the actions as well. And he must analyze the barriers of preventive action, and that can be related to economic status, that can be related to managing through monetary. And perceived self-efficacy is how much a person is more motivated to change the behavior, how much he thinks that he can manage or he can change the maladaptive behaviors related to health towards the adaptive behavior. So basically all these points or aspects leads towards the formation of action, and that are basically belief that leads to actions. And if a person has formed particular belief that this behavior or this certain exercise or this certain medication or this certain treatment is going to impact and going to benefit me in this unhealthy behavior, or this can change my unhealthy behavior to maintaining healthy lifestyle. So he is going to perform the action that can be medication, prescription following, and a person will try to adapt this behavior. Cues to actions are very important, such as media campaigns. Through internet we can access different websites that provide different health benefits, that point out basic concerns related to health, physician reminders, and that can be nutritionist, any physical fitness related video. Friend and family circle basically highlight importance of health concerns. So all these cues help along with your person's belief, and these leads to the formation of person's action, and that can change the behavior. So overall, individual beliefs are dependent on modifying factors and the cues to actions that can change a person's behavior to healthy behavior, and he can maintain his future life in a better way. So according to health belief model, a person maintain, change or form these behaviors on the modifying factors, on the basis of modifying factors, and that leads to action or the change in the behavior. So number 4 is the trans-theoretical model, and it is also known as a stage of change model. And according to this model, people face 5 stages while making changes in behavior, and on each stage, people show different psychological characteristics. This theory was given by James Prochaska, Carlos de Clemente, and John Narcos. And readiness to change is the main concern of this model. And these stages are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and number 5 is maintenance. So number 1 stage of trance theoretical model is pre-contemplation stage. Here a person thinks that there is no need to change the behavior and he has no intention to change his behavior, or maybe he is unaware of the problem. Number 2 stage is contemplation stage, and at this stage individual become aware of the problems and future consequences, but he is at that time not ready to make any particular commitment to take a proper action to maintain his healthy lifestyle. So here he is just thinking about the future consequences and get aware of the problems but not doing anything to maintain. And number 3 is preparation. In preparation, a person tries to change and plan to quit activities that are maladaptive, for example, avoiding the junk foods or maintaining the sleeping pattern, and trying to follow the behavior goals such as scheduling low-fat diet, discussing with friend about the healthy or unhealthy condition. That exactly indicates that a person is ready to change his own behavior. Number 4 stage is action, and it is a time span of successful efforts to change a behavior. Here a person makes obvious changes in behavior such as eliminating junk food, fried food from eating, and adding vegetables and fruits in meals, maintaining regular exercise, meditation, checking proper weight, and adding nutrition in the meal. So this is a particular stage that indicates a change in person's behavior. And the last one is maintenance. And this is the last stage where individual try to maintain the successful behavior which he has achieved through the stage of action, and try to sustain the change and resist all the temptations. Temptations are the desires that can be related to any junk food, that can be related to any unhealthy behavior. So he basically avoids all these temptations. And here in the picture we can see that a person progressed from one stage to the another, and we can say that on the fourth stage there can be a relapse chances as well. If a person does not maintain overall actions, there can be a relapse. So the main thing is a person must remain consistent to his actions so that he can maintain his healthy lifestyle as well. Number 5 is theory of planned behavior. And according to this theory, immediate determinant of behavior is people's intention to perform that behavior or not. Here the more focus is on person's intentions and person's own reasoning. People decide their intentions in advance of most voluntary behaviors, and their intentions are the best predictors of what people will do. So people's intentions are the main focus of this theory, and the reasoning is the main focus of this theory. So intentions are shaped by three factors. Number one, attitude regarding behavior. Number two, subjective norms. And number three is perceived behavioral control. Number one factor is attitude regarding behavior. Here a person evaluates the behavior, whether I have to perform this behavior, this action or not, and what will be the outcomes of this behavior, whether the outcomes are rewarding for me or not. For example, if a person has been asked to perform physical activity to maintain his health or to refrain from getting obese or fatty, so he is going to assess whether this exercise is going to give benefits to me or not. So overall, a person evaluate the behavior. And number two is subjective norm. Here, person's own perception about social pressure to perform activity or not. If a person feels any social pressure or any suggestions, opinions from others regarding his mental, physical fitness, so he will observe and he will focus more on the others' opinions and try to change his own behavior. That can be to change the unhealthy to healthy behavior. Number three is perceived behavioral control. How much a person thinks that he can achieve the planned behavior and how much he will get the success in performing particular behavior. So if a person from the very start think that he can do and he can change the behavior, he will obviously change his own behavior and he will control the behavior as well. And if a person think that he cannot maintain his physical fitness or he cannot maintain his proper healthy diet, so there are more chances that they are not going to get the proper results. So if people usually think that the more opportunities, more resources they have, more easily they can change or control the behavior. For example, if a person lives near a gym and he knows the well nutritionist, so from the very start they think that yes, if there is a problem in their healthy lifestyle, they can change it easily. So perceived behavioral control is also the important factor to change the person's behavior. So here in the picture we can see that there is a easy explanation of how a person change his behavior. First of all, he evaluates the outcome beliefs. He forms the beliefs related to outcome and evaluate the results as well, and that forms the personal attitude. And then he assess normative beliefs, subjective norms about the society and so what surrounding is saying about his or her healthy conditions, and then he gets motivated to comply to the subjective norms. And self-efficacy beliefs are very important, and that include personal control and how much a person thinks that he can change his behavior and what are the external barriers are present for the change in behavior. So basically all these norms, motivation, self-efficacy leads to intentions that can make person intention what will be the outcome, is the outcome is rewarding to me or not, and that leads to the likelihood of behavior. If a person thinks that there are more chances to get beneficial results and to get the expected results, he will change his behavior to the healthy behavior and he will try to put effort to change his behavior. Number six and the last one is the illness belief model. And according to this model, humans have tendency of problem solving and they deal with the illness and their symptoms in the same way as they deal with other problems. So this model stressing more on problem solving tendency of humans, and they think that human can uh, re-establish their normality state, and they usually try to change and establish the state of normality during illness. And traditional model describe problem solving in three stages. Number one is interpretation. First of all, person interpret the problem, and number two is coping, then he start dealing with the problem, and number three is appraisal, that means assessing how fruitful the coping stage is. So overall illness belief model stressing on the problem solving tendency, and the stage is how first of all person interpret that is this problem is threatful for me, or if there are going to be some severe future consequences. Then he start coping it, start dealing with the problem, maintaining different schedules for making the healthy lifestyle, and then he assess at the end how much fruitful these coping stage is. And if we find out this stage is not fruitful and not giving the expected results, he try to change and adapt to the new coping strategy. So overall he tries to maintain the normality state and avoid the unhealthy state. This is all related to the famous model of health psychology. Thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe my channel Psychology Facts for the latest content. And if you wanna watch another related video, watch the video Health Psychology Solved MCQs, where I have added MCQs related to health psychology chapter. And please subscribe. Thank you.